Mauá is a municipality in the state of São Paulo, in Brazil. Is part of the metropolitan region of São Paulo. The population as of 2006 is 413,943 inhabitants. The density is 6,645.4 per square kilometers and the area is 62.6 square kilometers. The density is in fact bigger, since 1/3 of the city is occupied by industries and 10% is countryside or forest. Its name comes from the Tupi language and means the one that is high. As it's a municipality, it can also be translated as high city. However, back when the city was a small village, its name was Pila. Then the name was changed in 1934 into Mauá as a homage to Visconde Mauá, entrepreneur which built the railway Santos Jundiaí that passes through the city. Mauá has the 23rd largest GDP of São Paulo state, is the birthplace of Brazilian tableware industry, economy. Although there are various types of economic activity in the city, Mauá is still remembered as the capital of China and pottery, because this activity was very important for the development of the municipality. There are 2 industrial centers and a large petrochemical complex plant where the refinery of Petrobras is located. The recap. These polls transformed Mauá into one of the largest industrial parks in the country. Major road interventions are being implemented, which due to the improved access to the city should influence the growth of industrial activity, who nowadays suffers with the bottleneck of the road network and its chronic lack of maintenance. Some companies with headquarters or branches in the municipality of Mauá: Alcan, CGE, Petrobras, LED, Liquigas, Chevron, Oronite, Oxiteno, Ultrapar, Firestone, Saint-Gobain, Magneti Marelli, Cofap. Transport. It's served by the CPTM Line 10 railways passing through the Capuava, Mauá and Guapitaba stations. It's also served by the Metrobus rapid transit system, having one stop and a trolley bus line which goes to the terminal Sônia Maria. Currently the city bus system is operated by the company Suzata. Geography. Climate. The city is located 818 meters above sea level, at the boundary between the Serra da Mar and the plateau. As a result, the city's climate is considered subtropical, with average temperature during the year at around 18 degrees Celsius, rarely exceeding 30 degrees Celsius in summer. In winter the average is 14 degrees Celsius. Topography. The landscape of Mauá is dominated by the formation of steep hills and peaks, as it is the usual Serra da Mar landscape, and by deep valleys and wetlands, today mostly grounded and occupied in a disordered way, which explains the high incidence of flooding there. Only the valley of Tamanduete River on Capuava district is typically flat. Historical account describe the places where the first bandeirantes, coming from São Vicente, saw the Planalto Paulista region and gave the name of Borda de Campo to the region, for making the transition between the Serra da Mar and the Planalto Paulista. The highest point in town is the Morro Pelado, with 867 meters, but the city is, on average, the highest of metropolitan region, due to the lack of flat areas. Hydrography. The city has a special characteristic hydrographic, not be crossed by any watercourse from another city, since, due to the high altitude, all streams that cross the territory of Mauá has the sources inside the city limits. In the city is located the source of Tamanduete River, the 3rd largest affluent of the Tietê River in Greater São Paulo, the Oratorio River and the Pinheirinho and Guaio rivers. The most important waterways in the urban area of the Taboão stream, the Corumbá stream and the Capitão João stream. Due to the disordered occupation of the floodplains, many places that before acted as absorbers of excessive rainwater were grounded and the city has several points at high risk of flooding. The situation was eased with the construction of 4 reservoirs between the years 1998 and 2002. However, due to lack of maintenance, excessive garbage and siltation, the reservoirs cannot effectively avoid the flooding risk. Besides the disordered occupation, lack of sewerage and waste treatment makes the urban waterways completely polluted. Vegetation. The city, due to great variation in altitude, has a broad spectrum of natural landscapes, although much has been transformed by human occupation. The hillsides were originally occupied by a lush Atlantic forest, though already mixed with species of Araucaria and Planalto-Paulista typical of altitude climate. In the city, the Atlantic forest areas most preserved of the well springs, the Tank of Paulista, the ecological park Santa Luzia and the slopes of Garachaba. The wetlands were largely covered by reeds and cattails, plants typical of wetlands and marshlands. Currently, only the Taboao stream have the original vegetation in the urban environment, but will lose much of it due to rectification works to link up with the new beltway. The valleys of the rivers Guayo and Panerinho and the region of Capburgo are still with this vegetation, despite growing local slum. The peaks of the hills, especially the higher ones, were covered by grasses and thin vegetation. Currently the chief representative is the Morro Pelado, which takes its name from the very low vegetation cover.